Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a treat for you. What are we doing? We're doing Texas style smoked brisket on a stick, also known as beef ribs. Coming up next. Alright guys, so as I said, today we're doing Texas style smoked brisket on a stick, also known as 3-bone plate ribs. So first step that we're going to do is we're going to get these things trimmed up, so let's trim them up. Alright, so as you can see, we've got a nice little fat cap here on the meat side of these ribs, and we're going to trim that off and take a look at the bone side. And yeah, you can see a good fat layer here and membrane on the bone side. And actually today I'm not going to do anything with this bone side. I'm going to leave it alone because as you smoke, you kind of need this to kind of hold these ribs together. So we're going to leave this intact, but we're going to get the trimming off the fat on the meat side. Okay, to get this trimming job done, I'm going to be using my 6-inch boning knife, and this is a Victorinox knife, so I'll leave a link down below so you guys can check it out. But we're going to go ahead and get all this fat cap removed, so let's get to trimming. We're going to go ahead and get these things seasoned up with some Victory Lane jalapeno garlic seasonal, as well as some Suckle Busters 1836 beef rub. And then I got to follow up with my fave. You know, I got to have that Fiesta brand, that coarse black pepper. So let's go ahead and get these ribs seasoned up and let's get them on the pit. Alright, so on our meat side, we're going to get our olive oil in. Make sure you get the sides where the bones are at too. We're going to start with our Victory Lane. And I give it a good coat. Remember, pat it in, guys. Don't ever rub it. Just pat it in so it'll stay even. We're going to get our bones. Make sure we get our sides here. And now we're going to come back with our Sucker Busters 1836. And then our final layer, black pepper. We're going to give that pepper a press in. Alright, so just like that, we got these beef ribs all trimmed up, we got them all seasoned up with our rubs, and now it's going to be time to get them on our smoker. So today I'm going to be using the Yoder YS640. I'm going to be using B&B brand championship blend pellets. So we're going to go over to the Yoder and get it fired up, so I'll meet you guys at the grill. Alright guys, we're here at the Yoder YS640. We got it turned on here, and we're going to be rolling at 255. Again, we're going to be using B&B championship blend pellets today, and I've also got my smoke tube already put in here. So if you're not familiar with how I run my Yoder, the smoke tube and all that, just check out my brisket for beginners video. I'll put the link right there so you guys can check that out. You can see how I set it up. So we're gonna go ahead and get these beef ribs on. All right, we're gonna get them on, and we're probably gonna let them smoke here for a good probably 2-3 hours before we come back for our first checkpoint. So let's get these beef ribs on. Now remember guys, the hottest part of this grill is going to be over here on my right side, so I put the thickest part over here to protect it. So you got that heat that's going to be coming through, radiating up to the top, hotter on this side. So I want as much mass on this side as I can, so if I had the smaller side over here, this would burn up a little faster than this. So remember, the thickest part of your meat is going to be over here towards your hottest part of your grill. Alright gang, so hey, it's been about 3 hours since we last saw our ribs. We were putting them on our Yoder YS640 here. And now it's time for us to go ahead and take a look. This is what I call our first checkpoint. What we're going to look for is we're going to look at the color. We're going to look and see if they're dry, you know, if they're maybe still looking a little raw, maybe we're cooking it too slow. And basically, if it's looking dry, we're going to spritz it. And guys, you know me, hey, I got to have my little bottle here. Many of you guys have asked, hey, what is that bottle you're using for spraying? Well, so this is a solo sprayer. I got it on Amazon. I'll link it down below so you guys can check that out and get one of these if you like. But yeah, we're gonna spritz it, and today again I'm using water. A lot of times I use apple cider vinegar and apple juice, but today again I'm just gonna use water. You guys can feel free to use whatever you want. It doesn't have to be water. It doesn't have to be ACV apple juice. You can use colas, you can use teas, you can use beers, whatever mixture you want to put together as if you were doing a mop sauce. You can put it in the sprayer and spray it on your meat. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing open. Let's take a look. We're gonna kind of do it kind of quick. I don't want to lose too much heat in here, but we're gonna take a look at it and see where we're at, and we'll make the adjustments we need to make. All right. So again, we're rolling at 255 degrees right now, 255. So let's take a look. All right, so these ribs are looking pretty good here. I can see that our rub is kind of set here. I've got some granules that are moving around here and there though, but it feels pretty solid still. We got a little decent pull back here starting to happen. They're darkening up a little bit here, and I think it looks good, but we're going to go ahead and spritz it, keep them nice and moist. We'll get this thing closed up and probably check it again here in about another hour or so. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour and 10 minutes since we last saw our ribs. That's where we went ahead and sprayed them down with a little bit of water just to keep them moist. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our second checkpoint. We're looking for color right now. If we think the ribs are dark enough that, you know, that's where we want them to be, then we'll go ahead and get these ribs wrapped up. Or you don't have to wrap them. You could just keep smoking them all the way to completion from this point. So if you're, you know, the type of person that you don't want to wrap your ribs, you just let them keep going until you hit the tenderness that you're looking for. So, but we're going to go ahead and check these ribs, and if the color is right, we're going to go ahead and get them wrapped. All right, so let's get it. All right, so by first initial look, the ribs look okay. They're coming together, but I think they need to get a little darker. So I'm just gonna spritz them right now. We're gonna close it up, and we'll come back and check it in about another hour or so. So hey guys, before we go any further, I have to give a big shout out to my guy Ryan Newland of Backline Smokers and Backline Fabrication. If you don't know about that guy, man, trust me, check out the link that I just put up here, because he does some phenomenal work with barbecue pits. So we're going to be running a YouTube channel. It's going to have a lot of his creations on that channel, so make sure you hop on over and find Backline Smokers YouTube channel and subscribe. There's no content on it just yet, but I promise you, once it starts loading up, you guys will want to be the first to know. So Backline Smokers and my man Ryan, thank you for the shirt. Loving it. Backline Smokers, guys. So enough of that. Let's get back to these ribs. It's been another hour here into this cook, and taking a look at these, and I think it's going to be time to go ahead and get these wrapped. So let's go ahead and get them off the grill and get them wrapped. Alright guys, so as you just saw, we just got these beef ribs off and we got them wrapped up again. I spritzed it with a little bit of water inside the butcher paper, and we got it back on the pit. Now for those of you, I know they're going to ask, well, what was your temperature? Well, those temped at about 167 degrees before I put them in the wrap. So they're in the wrap, they're back on the pit. We're going to let them keep going, and now we're looking for tenderness. So we're probably going to have them on the pit here for another couple of hours. Probably an hour and a half, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we'll come back and check it here in about an hour, and then we'll see what we have to do at that point. So I'll see you guys then. All right, gang, so hey, full disclosure here, I know I said we were going to come back in about an hour. I actually let it go a little longer here, so we're probably about 2.5 hours since our last checkpoint. So what we're going to do right now is we are going to go ahead and pull the ribs, or we're going to take a look at them and see where they are. And if we need to pull them off, we'll pull them off, and if we need to leave them going, we'll keep them going. So, and one other thing that I failed to mention, we did raise the pit temperature. We were running at 255. I did raise that temperature when I wrapped the ribs and put it back on. I did raise that temperature up to 280. So typically whenever I wrap, it's kind of like when I do brisket, you know, you get to the thermal stall type thing, I kind of raise the temperature when we wrap just to kind of push it through a little quicker. So let's go ahead and open these ribs and take a look. All right, let's go. And that's what we're looking like. I'm gonna grab my Thermopin. All right, that's what we're looking for, guys. So again, I don't really care about the temperature. I noticed some of you will ask, so let me look. Right now these ribs are at 195, but more importantly, they're very tender. There's no resistance whatsoever when I'm poking my Thermopin in here. So we're gonna go ahead and get these things off and let them rest. All right, gang, so we got our ribs off. They've got a chance to rest, so now we're gonna go ahead and get them cut, all right? So before I get into that, let me tell you, this cook was probably about 7.5 hours long, about 7:45 or so. First part of the cook, we cooked at 255 degrees. Once we got it wrapped, we kicked the temperature up to about 280, 285 degrees, and finished them off until they got really nice and tender. So let's go ahead and cut these ribs. And I'm gonna cut right down this bone here. Look at that, guys. See that juice just running there. Look at there. All right, let's cut a little off of here and see what we're working with. Look at there. All right, guys, so look, if you're enjoying barbecue videos that I put out, make sure you check out these videos right here. I'm gonna get into this beef rib, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Cheers.